What's everybody? Welcome to the Grand Torino with me, your host, Quirton Crukta. Welcome to today's show. Just finished a live cast stream on CBTS with Dr. Corsi. I was involved and I managed to listen to his latest decipher batches, which I will link in the description, which is there for you to see. One quick one. Oh yeah, the tap is back and it's staying. So everything that was discussed on the CBTS 24/7 live stream, which you can find on YouTube, which I'll link again in the description box. That's a place where Dr. Corsi drops in, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation that I had with Penultimate and Pamphlet and On. Did a first live stream attempt. I will be trying to go back to do that. I have to work on the technical issues, but on the 24 live stream, Dr. Corsi comes in and he did a 40-page spread of the latest Q posts. I'll get to Q now in a second. So what the ethos is in the live stream is they don't speculate. We only deal with sources that's been printed, that we trust, and that it can be verified as possible. Dr. Corsi comes in very well versed in the use of the Reddit boards, which I'm slowly learning myself, but to see a man of his age and his intellect and the way he's able to spread, and comes right in, he answers questions, he's freely available, and it's there for everybody to see, and it's fantastic. Why this isn't being covered anywhere else, even on mainstream, just to witness the fantastical things that are happening. What was discussed during that length of that conversation, I managed to ask a few questions with Dr. Corsi, and I pointed to him to the oversight.gov release on the 22nd of January, or the 23rd of January. The OIG reminded the US Marines Marshal Service, United States Marshal Service, that the Federal Act, the Whistleblowers Protection Act, was very much to be made aware of, and that all new contractors and all people involved with the Marshal Service should be aware of the federal enforcement of the Whistleblowers Protection Act. I thought that was a striking question. I did ask that to Dr. Corsi. And again, these are his opinions, and I do agree with his summation of what he said. He thinks that might be he doesn't think that specific is tying into, but he does think Snowden is going to play a part. The whistleblower Snowden could possibly be getting keyed up for surrender. I would presume it might be the Marshal Services that would take him into custody should he surrender himself. That there would entail could be a possible pardon. I mean, Trump might pardon Snowden. It's a little bit conflated, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility when you think of Julian Assange's checkmate, or the Casablanca play move in the check piece that he posted on Twitter. Dr. Corsi can kind of speculate that the two rooks, the two castles, Julian Assange and Snowden, play a part in that move. This whole warfare, this whole cyber warfare that we discussed in previous texts, these are all based on military tactics when you think of it, like looking to the past, seeing if those strategies can be reapplied and reused. And so far they're proving quite successful in the cyber war battle, because the NWO was playing straight into President Trump's and Q's hands, and the brave patriots that are doing their thing out there. And I say that as an Irishman viewing from across the water. I tip my hat to all the good people that are doing, immense services to their country over there. I can come back to that as well in a second. What was also discussed, and what Dr. Corsi thinks might be intimated, that there's a strong possibility that Obama, Hillary, the ones that will be indicted when the memo is released, will be tried as traitors. Again, this is my opinion, so this has nothing to do with tying with CBTS Stream or any of the guys. This is the opinion that I'm forming based on the intimations and the conversations that Dr. Corsi has been providing, and I kind of respect his opinion. We seem to view that Obama and them will be tried as traitors. It's not going to go through a civilian court for that entail, because it will be very hard to cover or decipher or find any unbiased jurors and judges, essentially. Any Obama holdovers that are still in place might have ties to being prejudiced in some way when they're actioning the case. This again is my own hypothesis as well. If they should be tried under military, with military personnel, then they'll be tried as traitors, and the punishment for treason could be hanging. You know, I'm putting that out there, as shocking as it might seem. Some people will say, "Oh, let her go to prison," and then she'll be sat there like some sort of gimmick. But you understand the true extent of her crimes. The treason is just the start. It's just the start. When this becomes more readily available and more saturated and soaked in, the true extent of the Clintons Foundation crime must be prosecuted to the fullest extent. That's my opinion. As fits the crime: treason, trafficking, treason and trafficking. Haiti. What I surmise is a brief message to all the Anon users and the Reddit users, and what Dr. Corsi is imploring all to get on board is to encourage us all to spread the message. Anyone that's doing anything on their Twitter feeds and their Facebook feeds, YouTube, creator content such as myself, anybody else that feels they want to join the narrative, do not be afraid to approach this subject, because it will slowly unfold. And the purposes of these videos and these talks is to disseminate the information to ready people for the coming shitstorm. And it will be a shitstorm of information, a shitstorm of magnitude, and a shitstorm of complexity. But we're very capable of doing it. These low budget demonstrations, it's the message that's more important. You must concentrate on the message and the reality of what is to come. We all play a part in rousing people's awareness. It's basically what I just said. We all have a part to play. Also, be aware of the counter narrative from MSN. MSN are going to come back and strike because of the impending release. Russia's probably going to come back up on the same thing. I believe Maxine Waters is to do a speech after President Trump's address to the State of the Union. She's going to come back. That's going to be the counter narrative. We presume, or I would presume, she's going to start race baiting or doing some sort of nonsense that she comes out with. You're encouraged to do your homework and your research on how a senator who earns $150,000 a year has an estimated wealth of 14 or 15 million. Don't quote me on those exact figures. Go look it up for yourself. What I did find encouraging, and what I want to finish on, and it gives me great strength, is that in the conversations with Dr. Corsi as he was speaking out, the Q phenomena, or the President Trump campaign, or whatever this is that is to come, will not stop just at the traitors, not at the traitor level. They will pursue and carry on globally, because as the executive order points out, anybody that's been involved in anything that deems to contravene the executive order that protects against human rights globally and have all their assets seized. If you look, you can see all the big CEOs, all the billionaires are stepping around. Q even says that the royalty are looking to get into hiding, but make sure, as Q has promised, there are no deals. So there's a lot more to come. So I'll finish off with thank you very much for your comments, all your again, not much critiques. I do appreciate your words of encouragement. Let's just keep driving the message. Let's just focus on the message. Give the guys all the props at the CBTS Reddits. It's there for you. You can jump in at any time with a computer or laptop. You can see the conversations, and you can verify your own sources of information. I'll ask you to subscribe. Check the little bell, because I will be doing live streams. I did conduct the interview with the CBTS guys, Pamphlet Anonymous and Penultimate Shitlord. Great names, great guys. Miss my pal Woohoo, all the other guys, all the great people on the Reddit boards. Thanks very much. Roos!